Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Gary Owen. My guest this week was the director, or is the director, of the new movie that I have out, along with Michael Jai White, on Netflix called Welcome to Sudden Death. It came out 2 days ago, so if you haven't seen it, I don't know what the fuck you're waiting on. But this guy that helped hire me for the job, Dallas Jackson.
I did hire you.
Yeah. I had Mike on last week, and I told him, I go, dude, do you know how I got the part?
I do.
What's your version? I'll tell you how I feel like I got the part.
Well, we made offers to several people and nobody wanted the part.
For real?
Yeah.
I
said, I know this guy is hungry. I know he wants to work, and I know he'll kill it for us. No, the real version is we made an offer to Fat Joe.
Okay.
I don't know. Somebody said Fat Joe is funny, and She's Gotta Have It, the TV show. Mm-hmm. He's acting now. We wanted somebody kind of jolly, quote unquote.
And that does not go. And believe me, I love Fat Joe, but jolly seems happy-go-lucky.
Yeah, sure. And
Cedric is jolly.
Yes.
Not that Cedric's fat, but Cedric's a jolly guy.
Well, Cedric's trimmed down over the years. He used to be jollier.
Right, but that's when you say jolly, I would think Cedric.
Yeah, but we couldn't afford Cedric.
Oh,
right.
Okay, thanks.
But also there's a certain cool factor with Fat Joe. I thought that could be fun.
Now you say cool, I see Fat Joe.
Yeah, like a cool, jolly guy. Anyway, I actually got on the phone with Fat Joe, and he was talking to me for like 20 minutes. Like, yo, son, yo, man, I really want to get my acting on, and this script is perfect for me. And we're going on, and he goes, yeah, but I'm going to do this tour. I got this hot single I'm about to drop. I can't do your movie. I'm like, you could told me that like 20 minutes ago. Yeah, I was, it was Fat Joe. I wasn't going to cut him off, but, I thought that for sure he was in. So he was not in. And so I'm talking to the execs at Universal about, who could possibly do this role. And I, in some weird way, I don't know if I had just seen you in something or if something, but I said Gary Owen could kill this. And I didn't even say Gary Owens. I said Gary Owen.
Appreciate that.
Could kill this. And so I called Michael. I said, Mike, because I wanted to, since you were going to be, kind of the sidekick to Michael Jai, mm-hmm. I wanted to run it by him first. And I said, you know what? Who would be dope is I think Gary would do this. And he said, oh, man, me and him, we have this really great chemistry. And he just did this
Undercover Brother
cameo in Undercover Brother 2. And
I was in it. I didn't do no cameo.
Why?
No, we had one day on set. See, I just got defensive. Motherfucker, I ain't get no cameo.
I mean,
no, me and Mike only had one day of shooting together. So I can see how it.
Well, so in his mind, it was cameo-ish.
Yeah,
right? But what we talked about on that call, which is two things. One was we were both like fans of yours. We thought you were a funny guy and like super talented, obviously. But you've never had the white sidekick. It's always the brother who's the sidekick.
Yeah.
Right? And you never had the white sidekick who was funny, right? Mm-hmm. So to have to do the Rush Hour thing with you and Michael Jai White, except for Michael Jai is the martial artist serious guy, or usually that's reserved for the brother as the comedic sidekick, mm-hmm. and then you'd have like a Mel Gibson who would like kick somebody's ass, and the black guy would be like, I'm too old for this shit.
Yeah.
But we were like, let's flip that, and so that was the beginning of it, and so I ran it by Universal, our exec, and they had to talk to a bunch of motherfuckers like to sign off on it, but they did, and so we decided to make you an offer. But I still wasn't sure. Now, here's in my mind, I'm thinking, I didn't know if you would do it. I thought you might be too busy, or you might be having a movie coming out that you were starring in, or whatever. And turns out you did have something that was offered to you in the mix, but you did the movie, which I appreciated, and you killed it. And that's my version of how you got it. And you and I talked a few times.
Yeah, well, that was after Mike DM'd me. He didn't have my cell.
Okay.
He sent me a DM
On Instagram or Facebook?
Instagram.
Okay.
And I'm in Spokane, Washington, and I'm doing a meet and greet, and I'm done, and so you're in the green room, you're just kind of scrolling through your phone, and I was like, what is this? Blue check mark catches your eye.
Right.
So I was like, Michael Jai White, and then he's, yo, here's my number, call me. I got this movie I'm doing, no promises, but I want to see if you're interested. So I gave him a call. He basically told me what you told me. He said, yo, there's a couple offers out. They're thinking about giving this party. He goes, but I really want you to be my sidekick in the movie because I think you could bring some element that they're not seeing. He goes, but I see it. And then, so I called him. Then I got in touch with you. And I don't know if you caught it, but I was very conscious once I was going to say yes. Now, when you talk about finances, yeah, I could probably make more money on the road just being the stand-up, But I was like, stand-up's not going anywhere. The movie is this 5 weeks,
right?
So I could always go back and do stand-up,
right?
But I was very conscious in this movie not to do one racial joke. I thought that was easy. I was like, because there's too many times like, oh, black guy does this, white guy does this. I go, okay. If in the movie, Michael is this security guard, I'm a janitor, and I'm working at a basketball arena, I've been around, in my mind, I was like, I've been around black guys my whole life. The other janitor guys are black. The basketball players are black. I go, this guy is not worried about race at all. He's been a janitor for 20 years. And I thought people might expect that. So I tried to give him something like, I don't know if you caught it. I didn't mention race one time. Like,
nah, and you know what? I feel like it wasn't necessary per se.
But there's always like the moment like you could do a quick joke that might get a laugh. But I was like, nah. Because there are a couple times when we were doing like take 3, I was like, ooh, no. My natural instinct is to go there, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny you say that. I mean, I felt like there was room for you to do whatever you wanted to do in your realm of comedy and still bring it home to this guy who is a family man and has kids of his own in the movie and of course in real life. But like the kind of common denominator between these two characters are they both have kids, yours are off camera, his are on camera. And so the instinct for you to finally help him is that you're a dad. He's a dad. He's trying to get his daughter back. So there's just this common thing, and you're the only one that can kind of help him navigate in this arena because you've been working there for so long.
Yeah, I'm basically a Thomas guide.
You're a human Thomas
GPS.
guide. Yeah, you're the green book. Stop here. You can't stop here. You might
don't go this way.
Yeah, don't go this way. But I will say that you did a great job. It was a lot of fun. But there were times where you even went places where I was like, damn, Gary's really funny. I didn't know he was that funny. He's really funny. And in edit, the executives of Universal will be like, maybe we should pull that back a little bit. I'm like, why?
Really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's a rated R movie.
I know.
You don't pull shit back in rated R.
I know. And I'm like, what's the problem? But we kept all the good stuff. But there was funny stuff that I'm gonna figure out a way for us to unleash, either like some the blooper reel or something, because there were some gems that you were throwing out, and some of this stuff, a lot of it was improv because I would just say, do the lines and then do your thing after or put it on there, and we had extras and stuff in there, and they would be like, or they'd laugh or they weren't expecting it, and that when we had people laughing that didn't know what you were going to say that were actually part of the movie, then I was like, oh, we got something good. Because we got extras laughing, and then we ain't paying them to laugh.
Well, that's the thing, being a stand-up, you're so used to the immediate response. And then when you're shooting a film, whether it's TV or movie, you're kind of like looking at the grips and the camera guys to see if they're putting their head down or holding something in.
Right.
Or there's nothing better when the director goes, cut, and everybody just busts up after you say cut.
And we had more than a few of those.
Yeah.
And we also had times where, it was inappropriate, some of the things you said.
Really?
Yeah. But it was fine. It was funny.
I don't remember that at all.
Because you know what I think with you kind of just black out into this comedy zone and just
That's true.
Just spit stuff. and then you don't know what it is, if it's magic or not, and it is magic, and then sometimes it'll be like, what the fuck did he say? But those are usually the things where you go, cut, we got something.
Well, Michael Ealy, I had him on the podcast a couple months ago, and I was asking him like,
I get mistakes for him all the time.
do you?
Yeah.
Really? With the since COVID, with mask on.
Green eyes, everything. They're like
with the mask on.
Just
and
like
sunglasses
that guy.
and a hat.
Yeah.
Well, I had him a couple months ago and we was talking about actors and comedians, and he says, he's basically like, I have to mentally get prepared when I work with stand-ups. He goes, because actors, they act, they look at the lines and they bring them to life. He goes, comedians, you guys are more fearless because you'll go there, whether it's inappropriate or not, you're just like, well, fuck it, I'm going to try it. And I was like, oh, I never thought of that. He goes, Mike goes, the problem is sometimes you get on set with a comedian, you don't know where they're going with this scene. You're like, oh, wait a minute. You're supposed to say, come over here.
Right.
You didn't say that.
You got to give them something to come back to earth with.
Grounded. And I have a problem with that. I'll be first on the admit. When I get on set sometimes and get in a scene, I go, oh, yeah, I didn't give you a chance to get back in the scene because I'm just, I'm on speed here.
Well, and two, like there was a part where you dropped some inside knowledge about your life when you're talking about your brother Dallas. I thought you were talking about me. I was like, oh, that's so sweet. He's talking about the director. He weaved me in there.
Yeah.
But you were talking about your own brother. So in some instance of we were talking about fathers, and you wish you knew your father and your brother was a good father. Whatever it was, you weaved in some real life. And I thought that was cool because that's actually what comedians do, right? They weave in something personal and make it funny. So yeah, we had a good time, man. I'm really excited for people to see it, and I think it's a great time right now. I mean, despite what's happening in the world, like for us, we did something fun. I think we're giving the world something fun, and I almost think of it like we did kind of like a Rush Hour, Lethal Weapon kind of Die Hard mashup.
Oh, that's what I thought when I read it. I was like, oh yeah. This is it's funny because when I first signed on, it was promoted as just the Michael Jai White action movie. Then once I got on it, and this is the vainness of me, all of a sudden it was like, I heard some people that did screenings like, it's a buddy comedy. Well, whatever I must have did work. The fact that somebody would watch it and then review it as a buddy comedy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how Michael feels about that, but it actually turned out, I think, well, the chemistry between you two really worked. And some of my favorite times while we were shooting was the stuff you guys did together. And just for me, it was just fun to see you guys together. Like I said, that dynamic of the serious martial artist and the fun kind of janitor sidekick. But what I noticed happening when you and Michael were together is you would make him laugh and kind of made him loosen up a little bit, because he's pretty intense sometimes in terms of like when he's doing his action stuff, and he can get dramatic as far as an actor, he can go there. But I think what you were doing was kind of bleeding off on him a little bit and making the movie tonally a little more fun.
Well, what was cool about Mike,
and we didn't have to pay you extra for that.
Didn't have to pay me nothing.
Yeah.
Even the writers, they're going to look like geniuses.
Well, thank you, because I wrote it.
Yeah. See, there you go. I made you look better than you are.
I appreciate that.
No, what I like about working with Mike was, I said, it's also you get to know somebody on a personal level and how he was brought up and everything. But we would sit in the makeup trailer the morning, we would have maybe a 4-page scene together. And we would just like read so we were ready when we got to set. It's one thing to read in your hotel room by yourself, but until you do it on your feet, that's another ballgame. But we would go over it, and then I'd be like, yo, what if I try this? Or he'd come in, and he knew the movie so well inside and out. He goes, hey, this scene's leading into this. Why don't you say this, so that'll lead to the next scene? And I was always like, yeah, I'll take any direction you can give me. You know what I mean? But he gave me jokes and everything. But just he was so giving on, like, it's one thing to be like, hey, you want to read lines? But he was really like, I could ask him 10 times and he'd read with me before a scene. That way, when the cameras are ready to go, there's nothing you could say that could throw us. Like we knew it.
Yeah, and the more you guys the more we shot, the more in tune you guys got, and it was interesting. Like I would love to see another movie with you guys. Like I felt like you were building something, you know, that could be a Gary Michael franchise, like Cosby and Poitier did, where they did a few movies together.
Yeah.
The interesting thing with Mike is that, you know, he's a real martial artist. Like,
Dude.
for real. We know now. I mean, we've known, but like working with him is like, you know, it takes it up a notch because he's the real deal. And much like a comedian will freestyle and kind of use their talent in the scene and elevate it, he uses his real martial arts and his real intensity for action. Like, you know, we didn't have stunt doubles on Mike. We did, but like we kind of really
Yeah, that was just because he was resting for a minute.
Yeah, we used Jasper to crash through a window because Mike was like, I ain't gonna do that. But all the fight stuff, all that stuff is Mike. And going in, I didn't really realize that, you know, like it. So to your credit, you know, you was Fat Joe, right? And then it was you. So originally they were going to offer this to Ludacris because he's been
To be Michael Jai White's part.
right.
Nothing against Ludacris.
No.
But some of the fight shit that Mike does in that movie.
Yeah. It's just so. And that was the studio going, you know, what about Luda? And I was like, I mean, I wrote it. I got a chance, the opportunity for them to direct it. So you have to kind of listen to the studio and say, you know.
Yeah.
And Luda's done some fight stuff, and I looked and was like, yeah, he could do this. But like what Mike does, and no disrespect to anybody, like Mike's just been doing it for 30 years. So he brings that to the movie, and you can see like this guy is like the super real deal. Like he is our Jackie Chan.
Well, he also, like, when you're on set, you see him walk. Whatever. The first day I shot with him, I was talking about last week, was when he killed the guy in the weight room. And when I saw him just walk on set before we were shooting, the cameras were setting up, and he was just processing the entire room and how that scene, no matter how it was written, he goes, okay, I'm going to make this as realistic as possible and how this could work. And when I saw him just like moving by himself, like, okay, if I come over here, that guy, it's impossible for him to come over here. I was like, how is he figuring this shit out?
Yeah, he's like Rain Man with Kung Fu.
Oh my God. And I told him, I said, the good thing was everybody was so collaborative.
Right.
Granted, you wrote it, you directed it, but you also were smart enough to know, like, this is what he does. He's going to make the scene as realistic as possible. And even, like I told him, I said, he was telling me jokes, and I would try it. He goes, hey, what if you tried this? All right. I go, the whole movie was just a big collaborative process. There was no egos like, nah, I'm the director. I wrote it. These are the lines. It was no like, I'm a comedian, but like, you ain't going to tell me something that's funny. You know what I mean? I'm going to try it.
One time I was like, you're going to say this shit like this. But that was in my mind. I didn't really say it.
Yeah, I know. Because I was like, I was thinking, I must have been getting per diem that day. And I was in a good mood.
No, you know what? I wanted to let everybody do what they do, and I believe in that. Like, if you're making a movie and you're hiring people, like I read this story about James Cameron, like when he shoots, like he'll just go pick up the cameraman's camera and be like, oh, I'm going to shoot this. You know, like he's just that guy. He'll come over to the makeup thing and be like, I'm going to put this makeup on, right? Like, and I've heard about directors like that, but I feel like if you trust people to do what they do because they're really good at it, then you should let them do what they do. And in fact, you'll get a better response from them because you're trusting them creatively to bring something to the table. So Michael Jai's coming with ideas. He's coming with his years of expertise. You're coming with ideas. You're coming in with your years of expertise, and also you're just natural comedic abilities that are over the top. And then, you know, me, I give a structure of this is the script. Yeah, I wrote it, but we can change whatever. We could do whatever as long as Universal's not saying this is more money to the budget, whatever. So I just feel like even down to the grips, you let people do their job, and they'll they'll perform for you even better than you expected because you're giving them the opportunity to contribute to this movie. And you guys contributed a lot. I think the movie came out even better than we expected, which is hard to, in your mind, you have one vision of what the movie should be, and somehow, you never reach that pinnacle. And at least I know for a lot of filmmakers, they're never happy with the final product. But I was really happy with this because it exceeded, I think, what we started out to do.
Now, how long ago did you write this movie?
It all happened pretty quick, man. So this is a little bit of a story, but it's fun. So I got hired to write a remake of this movie, The Last Dragon, for Timac and
Show
Enough and Kiss My Converse and all that for Sony. And my idea for reimagining it was kind of paying homage to the first one, but still making it relevant and brand new. Anyway, that script, we had gotten to the studio loved that script. They brought on a director, Charles Stone, who did Drumline and Paid in Full, and they were going to make that movie. And studio regime change happened at Sony, which studio regime change happens, and new president comes in, and they don't want to do what was already there. Anyway, that script started to make rounds, and one of the places it landed was Blumhouse. Blumhouse read that script, had me come in. They were like, "Hey, this is really good. Do you have anything in the urban horror realm?" And I was like, "Yeah, I have this thing I've been sitting on for a while, which is basically like my Scream with black and brown kids." And that movie was called Thriller. They let me direct it. I wrote it.
Is that on Netflix right now?
It's on Netflix right now. Go check it out. Shameless plug. Universal got The Last Dragon script, and they read it, and they said, we're thinking about rebooting Sudden Death. Would you be interested? And I was like, yeah, that was a movie where Van Damme was beating up the mascot, right? And they're like, yeah, we, but we want to do something with it. So I rewatched the movie, and I said, yeah, I'd love to do it, but I'd want to do it with a brother. Put a black man in this kind of die-hard situation, and they don't know that he's a badass, and they're like, that sounds fun. So they hired me to write it, and started developing this idea of what this movie would be, and really just paying homage to my favorite movies, Die Hard and Lethal Weapon, and all these things from the 80s. But I didn't think they were going to, I didn't know it was going to get made. They just pay you money for these things and you go do your work. Thriller came out, the Blumhouse movie, and premiered at the LA Film Festival, got a great response. Some of the Universal execs that had hired me to write the Sudden Death remake were there. They saw the audience response to Thriller on Netflix now. And they said, do you want to direct Sudden Death? And I was like, sure. Yeah, I wrote it. Why not?
Yeah.
So that was all within a year.
Was this 2018?
This is 2018.
Okay.
So the movie came out, the LA Film Festival was 2018. The movie premiered on Netflix in April of 2019. And I was location scouting in Winnipeg, where we shot that April when Thriller came out. So before the movie came out, I had gotten the job to direct Sudden Death.
Shout out to the city of Winnipeg.
I love Winnipeg.
Isn't it weird?
I want to go back to Winnipeg.
I always say whenever you do a film and you're there for over an extended period of time, when you leave a small piece of yourself in every city. I've noticed that every movie I've done, I was like, oh, and when you go back, it's a little empty because your circle's gone.
Right, the people that you were there with.
Yeah. So if I ever went back to Winnipeg, I'd be like, I probably feel a little empty because I wouldn't be seeing the people I was hanging out with. Because Mike was talking about how funny it was because I was there by myself, and then his wife came in, and I became the third wheel. I was like the friend because they go, hey, we're going out to eat. I go, great, I'm not eating by myself tonight.
Yeah, where are we going?
There was one coffee shop. God dang it. I wish I could. I don't know if you guys can look it up. It's called Cock and Bull.
Yeah, I think
or something like that. It's something with a cock in it. That sounded awful. It's something with a cock in it.
Cock and Bull Cappuccino Bar.
Yeah, Cock and Bull. They had the best oat milk lattes. I ain't had oat milk lattes better than that.
You would come to set and say that, and I'd be like, "Really? They were that good?" And you were like, "Yeah, you got to go get one." I was like, "I don't."
Yeah, it's a Cock and Bull.
It's funny. I don't drink coffee until quarantine happened, and I started. Now I drink coffee. So I wish I could go get one, but I didn't drink coffee.
The other thing I got hooked on set was bubbly.
Yes.
The drink.
Yes.
Because
You
I
told
don't.
me they were black owned. Is that true?
Is it? I heard. So I had it. And somebody goes, "Those are black owned."
Yeah,
So I
because
don't know.
I went home telling my wife we got to get bubbly.
Oh,
We're
really?
drinking all this other people's sparkling water. We need to get the black owned
Yeah,
sparkling
that's
water.
what I heard.
That's what Gary Owens told me.
Well, I don't know, man.
But I didn't
Somebody
say it
told
with
me
the
that.
S. I just said Gary.
Yeah, I'll let that slide, but I don't know. Somebody told me that when I think I posted on like social media, and somebody goes, "Appreciate you supporting a black-owned business." I go, "Oh, no problem."
Because I was gonna do the
That's
same
why
thing.
I'm drinking it.
Yeah, I was gonna do the same thing. I was like, let me buy this and support it. Yeah, I mean, I was in Winnipeg.
A lot longer than me.
Yeah, I was there in April location scouting, or a little bit like into March into April. It was like 9 degrees. There were people wearing shorts. Like, it's springtime. I was like, well, this is crazy.
But we shot at the perfect time because we shot in August.
We shot in August. So I came back in July. I was there since July, and it was summertime. It was like regular summertime. And then, stayed until after we wrapped, which is the first week of September. And when we left, it snowed 1.5 feet that week after we left. So after we wrapped. So we left at the right time. Like, it broke trees and shit. It snowed that much.
Yeah.
So
You knew it gets cold there because they had so many underground walkways
right.
in Winnipeg. Like, there was you got the sidewalk in the city. There was a complete city underneath the city.
Right.
And I go, "What is this for?" And then people tell me, they go, "Dude, it's winter like 7-8 months out of the year here.
Yeah.
This is one of the few times you're not hitting." I go, "Really?"
They had this place called the Forks where you go eat, like all these
Yeah.
different little restaurants and stuff. And they're like, "Yeah, this is like the perfect time for the Forks because in the wintertime, nobody.
Cock and Bull was at the Forks, dude.
Yeah, okay. So
It was a little coffee
how
stand.
did I miss that?
It was right at the end, and it wasn't its own building. It was almost like the mall kiosk.
Okay.
It sat at the end. It wasn't big. You could miss it. But I just went there. I go, "You guys got oat milk lattes?" And I just got hit the oat milk like the month before I left. And he's like, "Yeah." So that was like my go-to every morning. The driver, he got hip. He'd have it ready for me when he picked me up before he picked me up from the hotel. He'd have it right there waiting on me.
that was they got familiar with you. They were
Yeah.
like, "Oh, this one," and he likes a little sprinkle of this.
Yep, the bubbly. They knew. I was like, I never had bubbly before. I was like, I don't want soda, but I'd like a little bubble.
Yeah.
We got bubbly.
Well, you made me think that brothers had that. I hope it is black owned.
Is it a black-owned business?
PepsiCo.
It's not.
Damn, son.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
I'm like this. But guy with black hair owns it.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep pretending it's black owned because I went home and told everybody.
Yeah.
You better stop drinking that shit and get some bubbly in your life.
Well, what's
Black
crazy, bubbly wasn't out that much. I thought it was a Canadian drink because the cans had the Canadian flag on
owned.
it.
I never saw it until we were on set.
As soon as we get back, I see it in the last year. It's everywhere. Huge commercials, campaign ads, and then I see it in every grocery store. I go, I never saw that shit till I got to Winnipeg.
Maybe 50 owns it and he did the vitamin water deal with it. I don't know. But you did tell me it was black owned, so I'm gonna put that on you. Because you were like, yeah, you don't know shit. This is black owned. You need to get you some. I was like, oh, okay.
Sorry about that. I think I bought it from a black-owned grocery store.
In Winnipeg, yeah. Yeah.
That's another thing that threw me.
I'm not falling for that shit anymore. But
This is what threw me about Winnipeg. One day 9% of the movie is in the basketball arena, but one day we were driving on location somewhere, and we drove through it looked like a United States ghetto, where there was a Boys and Girls Club, there was a liquor store, there was a Church's Chicken, there were homeless people walking around, there were drug addicts walking around. It looked like a lower income inner city ghetto, but it was all
natives.
we can't say Native Americans, natives.
Natives.
But I started asking around. I go, "Yo, what's going on here?" It literally looked like a alternative universe. He was in. They was like, "No, the black people in Winnipeg. There's not a lot, but they're doing okay. It's the natives that are the poor." don't have a lot of resources.
Yeah, what I discovered is that the natives, because the part with Winnipeg we were in is called Manitoba. That is their original land. That is their homeland, and just like they do, it was colonized. And
When you say
they meaning white people,
the people that own Bubbly.
yeah, yeah, let's say that. They colonized it and pushed all these people that had been there into fringes of the city, and over the years have literally marginalized them as the people that they just don't give a shit about. And what's unfortunate is that this is their community, that's their land, and they're being treated like they're outsiders, much like the conditions of black and brown people here in this country. What was cool, I think, in our production is we were able to hire some folks that were natives of the land of Manitoba, and they were telling us, man, like
That's who told me.
Yeah, this shit is fucked up here.
Yeah.
And we get treated like they're like, we identify with the blacks and browns of America because that's how they treat us here. Like literally, I was driving down the street because they gave us rental cars, and I saw like 4 or 5 cop cars on this corner. They had some people hemmed up against the wall, and a cat was on the hood, and they were all getting arrested, and they were all natives. Mm-hmm. Like, I was like, damn, that's like the brothers. Like,
yeah. Well, it's a class thing. It's a class issue in this country, too. As much as it is race, it's also class has a lot to do with it.
It's the mayor of Winnipeg came down to do a press conference at our set. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know this. Turns out he's like a Trump supporter, like literally. And his whole thing is to like, to the people of Winnipeg and whatever, to like, we don't, we're trying to handle this problem of natives. And not to get too deep on this, but like, it's like an alternative universe, as you said, but like, it's also just a universal problem of just racial injustice that not only happens there, but it happens in Canada too, except for they treat their natives like that, which is unfortunate.
Well, the one thing that was, I love the city, but the one thing that was most disturbing was you would drive and you'd see bridges or murals, and it'd be all these like young girls' heads that were painted, right? Mm-hmm. And it's like they were all missing. Mm-hmm. And what I realized is they said when there's crimes committed against, let's say, the kids of natives, they don't report it to the police. They just kind of handle it. So it's like...
Oh, they handle it.
The natives handle it.
Oh.
So they're like, they're not going to the police when a girl ends up missing or a girl gets raped or things like that. They're
they
like,
handle it.
We'll handle it. So there was all these pictures. I don't know if you saw, but certain parts of the city you drive by and there'd be like 5, 6 girls' heads painted. And that's when I asked, I go, what's that all about? And they go, those are missing girls that they're not calling the cops. They're just kind of handling it in-house. Now, granted, that's the information I got. I also told you Bubbly was black-owned. So I don't want people listening to this going, you all wrong. Who gave you that information? That's what I was told. Could have been the same person who told me Bubbly was black-owned.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you roll with your news.
That's what I was told.
But I look, it's a fantastic city in terms of the people, and they gave us a great experience film-wise. And, I think the one thing that I realized in Canada was that they are super nice. I didn't really feel the racial thing in terms of black and white. There's so many different races of people there. It's interesting. It's very multicultural. And I kind of appreciated that. But I did notice the treatment of the natives of Manitoba there. And I know they're trying to work through that. But like the experience itself of Winnipeg was great. They bent over backwards to like help us make sure our movie was tight. They gave us a whole arena. Like we had a whole sports arena to shoot in for 30 days. Like,
how about
we couldn't have done that here in the States. It'd have been like $40 million.
How about, I don't know if you know this, How about my first day on set? And I know I didn't want to go to you or anything. I'm like, I just get here. Now I got to complain. They had me sharing a dressing room with Michael's son, was he a 10-year-old kid?
Oh, yeah. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't go to you with it. I'm literally calling my manager and UTA going, they got me sharing a dressing room with
So where was he?
kid
Like
and
on
dad.
one side, they put up a
They
curtain?
put us in like a locker room, right? And they put up a black curtain.
Okay.
And I was like, but you're still, I have to change. He has to change.
Right.
So
That ain't right.
at all.
Right.
So I'm like, what's going on here? And they moved the guy, I don't know if you remember, there was a guy who was kind of heavy set. He was, I thought he was a little slower than the most. But he was like, he showed me, he goes, okay, Gary, this is your dressing room. I went, there's somebody in here.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, yeah. I said, dude, I'm not sharing a dressing room with somebody, especially not a kid and his dad or his uncle or dad with them.
Right.
He goes, that's above my pay grade. And he walked away. I went, oh shit. Now what do I do?
I gotta call somebody.
I'm calling UTA. That's why you hire them. So I said, they got me sharing. So then they came an hour later, and one person, I'm not gonna come out, was not happy that I asked to get switched. So I came in prima donna, I guess.
Right.
My manager put it best. She goes, by the way, because I think the kid's dad or uncle felt some kind of way the first couple of days on set, because I was like, I need to move.
Right.
You know? Here's the thing. You don't want a grown man changing in front of a kid. And when you're in between scenes, that's when you decompress. I might want to sit in my underwear in my dressing room.
I don't think that's the kind of movie I was making. So I don't know what.
They moved me, but my manager said it best. She goes, by the way, it was that guy. That guy that said above my pay grade.
Yeah.
He combined the dressing rooms. I go, why would you think that was a good idea?
He was trying to like make himself a star. Like, guess what I did?
I was like,
I saved y'all $2.
Nah. Then they moved me to the rest of the film, I was in the referee's locker room, which was great. But I was just like, I was like,
Yeah,
why
I
would you
forgot
think
because the arena was so big, like people could just pick rooms out for like dressing rooms and stuff like that.
Yeah, because we didn't have trailers.
Yeah.
We had suites.
Yeah, so it's
visiting
better
locker
than a
rooms.
trailer.
Huh?
Better than a trailer.
Oh, the dang owner suites were great.
Yeah.
With you're looking at the Winnipeg Jets arena, and then I loved it when we were shooting like the fourth floor. Be like, yeah, this is your suite. I'd always make believe like I'm just balling out of control. Like,
I got a suite.
There's
in
nothing
Winnipeg.
here.
Yeah, this. I got this whole thing. I thought what was cool was that they let us just like, and you could run around in there. You can go wherever you want. Like they gave you a cart. You can drive that thing around.
Yeah.
So it was to me. I like. I was telling you off camera. We had scouted where the Winnipeg football team plays. And they let us go look at that arena, which is a football stadium. I don't know how that was going to work out using a football stadium.
That wasn't going to work.
That wasn't going to work.
That was some Canadian shit.
Yeah,
they didn't realize
shit.
it.
But they let us go down on the field and run around with the football and all that. So I don't know how that was going to work in another version of this movie. But for them to give us this big sports arena where this is where like Justin Bieber comes when he's in town to perform, right? Like this is their big Madison Square Gardens place, and just to have it on lock for a month, I know that place by heart for no reason.
Yeah, because there was all those pictures of all the concerts that have come through there. Not to mention, the UFC had one of their UFC events there. WWE had been there. I mean, it was a legit, just big ass arena.
Yeah, they had a monster truck show.
In the middle of the shoot.
In the middle of our shoot. So they had to break down our shoot and set up for the monster truck show. And they gave us tickets to the monster truck show. And I took my son. My son and daughter had flown in for a couple days. And man, that was live. I'd never been to a monster truck show.
Yeah.
Now I know why rednecks get into it. I was like, this is run some shit over. It was
You lost your blackness.
Oh yeah, I had a blast. I was like, give me some Budweiser. Yeah. Smash shit. Yeah, it was great.
Didn't wear your Howard alumni shirt to that.
Nah, I didn't. At least I don't think I don't.
Did you go to college with Michael's wife, Gillian? I keep calling her Jillian.
Yeah.
Why? Gillian.
Yeah. Matter of fact, Gillian is a year younger than me. Marlon Wayans and I shared the same floor dorm. So we were fresh. We came in freshman year together. That's how he and I got tight. So Marlon Wayans was there. He didn't tell anybody he was a Wayans brother. We were just hanging out.
Tell my daughter is right now.
Yeah,
I just called her out, but she's at A&T.
Nobody knows.
She's just like, Dad, she didn't want me to come to freshman, move her in. She didn't want that. I was like this. I understand, but I'm moving you into college. I'm not gonna get that back. That's a me moment.
That. Yeah, it's
right.
Shit,
I'm like, I'm sorry you don't want me there, but I'm moving you in.
Sorry, I'm famous, baby.
Then I put all her shit together. Her bunk bed, her freaking dresser, and shit. I'm in there like cussing. What the fuck? Shit!
Gary Owens is in there putting that Kia together.
He's wilding out.
Yeah. So my freshman year, me and Marlon got tight. I didn't know. Like I said, I didn't know he was Wayne's till one day I came to his room and he was on the phone and he was like, "I want to come be on the show. You know, I'm tired of this shit here." He was saying something and he said, "Keenan, I mean, why do I have to go to college?" And I'm thinking, Keenan. And then he said something about Damon, and I'm like, oh, shit. He's talking about some Wayans brothers. Something. And Living Color was hot as fish.
And you couldn't tell by looking at him?
I couldn't tell. I mean,
He was a lot skinnier.
Yeah.
Marlon was he's skinny now, but he was the skinniest of the skinny of the Wayans.
Yeah, and and Living Color was super hot right then.
Yeah.
So you're not thinking, nah, this guy's, really. Anyway, so that's how he and I got tight. Puffy was still there. He was throwing parties.
Was Tupac? What year was this?
This is early 90s. So
I was in D.C. at that time. I was in the honor guard. I was in the Navy.
What year was that?
92 to 94.
Yeah, we were there.
Because that was I used to hang out at that McDonald's by
George
campus.
On George Avenue?
All the black girls would come in there.
Oh, yeah.
I ate so many chicken nuggets slow as fuck.
Oh, yeah, that was the spot.
Look, when I say I'd order a 6-piece nugget, and it would last 90 minutes.
Oh,
I'd
yeah.
break it for that, dip a little bit.
Let me tell you something. That whole area was popping. You had up against the wall across the street, so if you needed to get some Jabot jeans And when I first got there, I was from Denver, so I was trying to, fit in to the East Coast culture. And, that's when everybody was wearing everything baggy. And
Cross colors. And I went to up against the wall to get me some Jabots, because that's when Jabots was hot. Yeah.
And I went in and bought some, and I got back to the dorm. I put my Jabots on, and I went down the hallway, and people were, looking and pointing and laughing. And I was like, yo, what the fuck? They're like, your Jabots is too tight. My Jabots were supposed to be baggy. But I was from Denver, so I got them to fit just
Tight.
right.
Like Wranglers.
Yeah, like red tag Levi's, right? Yeah. They just perfectly fit. And Marlon was like, I can see your nuts. You're not supposed to see that in Jabos.
In Denver.
Yeah, well, in Denver.
No, we let our nuts get tight in Denver, baby.
Yeah, so I didn't wear those Jabos anymore. I didn't know you were supposed to buy the clothes 2 sizes too big. Because, that was when everything was baggy.
Yeah.
So you bought it baggy. But
did you know? Did you ever go to a nightclub called the Dome?
Yeah, nightclub. Yeah.
Dome was it was underneath the ground. The Dome.
Yeah, I remember the Dome. It was
it
was in downtown, I believe.
It was in Northwest, but it was downtown.
Yeah, Anthony was there. Anderson. He was 2 years older than me. Taraji was there.
All at Howard. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Well, you guys are at Howard, and I'm in the Navy at the Washington Navy Yard.
You right down the street.
And I probably saw you guys at that McDonald's.
You could have came and hung out.
Oh, I did. You probably didn't know. Hey, I've been in the female dorms at Howard.
There was always a couple of white guys around, and you just go, It's like being the only black guy at a white school. You're like, there's a few of those.
You know what I always did I always spoke, just to make it not as awkward.
Right.
So if I ever went into Howard, or I had nights at Maryland Eastern Shore.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm I'd always be make my presence felt to make it unawkward. Hey, what's up, guys? What's up?
Yeah.
Keep it moving, but I always spoke first. Before brothers come to the hallway, what's up, guys?
Yeah.
They'd be like
give
this.
the nod.
What's up, man? What's up? Maybe that's what this country needs. More white people to see black guys and speak.
Yeah.
Instead of going the other way.
Yeah.
There's not one instance that I was in a Howard hallway or a Maryland Eastern Shore hallway that I spoke and it wasn't spoken back to, just like, what's up? It was never like, what are you doing here?
Yeah,
what's up,
and
guys? What's up?
When you speak first, it fucks us up because you're like, oh, hey, what's up?
Yeah.
You know, he's cool. He's cool.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, I mean that probably got you like access to more shit than you should have had access to.
I remember
speaking.
Puffy doing the parties, and I never went to any, but I remember he was the first guy I see that had the they look like picket signs, but they were pumping the parties, like guys with the signs of party. And I was like, what is going on here?
He paid people to do that, man.
Yeah.
Dude, look, Howard was popping like at that time. I would walk down campus literally, and I saw Wesley Snipes and R. Kelly just chilling. They were hanging out like in the middle of the yard, and I was thinking,
well, that was a little old for R. Kelly.
Yeah, well,
how old are you, baby girl? 21.
Come to find out, you know, he had stayed in this place called the Towers, which is these new apartments at the time that Howard had built. He had been up in there for a week. Like, R. Kelly left it? Nah, he's still up in there. So, but you would see like, you'd walk down campus and you'd see like Brand Nubian or something like these 90s groups, or Q-Tip would be hanging out, or, you know, you walk down and see Special Ed, or like motherfuckers that just came to Howard to hang out. So it was cool, man. It was a great experience. Changed my life. I always said 2 best things I did in my life: go to Howard, move to LA.
You were really pushing for my daughter to go to Howard.
I was. I still am. It's not too late.
Well, she's enjoying A&T, but I'll tell you what really happened was 2 things happened. We were scheduled to get a tour of Howard. She kind of knew she was going to tour a bunch of colleges, but she kind of knew it was going to be HBCU.
Right. You were telling me
And we kind of knew, and I kind of knew by travel as much as I do, I said, it's going to come down to Howard and A&T without question. Just knowing her personality.
I had a tour set up for you.
Oh, the guy called me. One of the guys.
I had Tammy McCants, who's head of admissions, ready to meet you.
Well,
I had you hooked up, bro.
2 things happened. Let me tell you what happened.
Okay.
1, no fault of anybody's. She was taking a college course while she was in high school. And now that she's done with that course, the teacher, and I'm putting it politely, was a bitch. Like said, no, you are. If you miss this exam, it's like 30% of your grade. And would not let. My daughter literally said, "Can I take it early or take it late? Just this whatever Wednesday." She goes, "No, you have to be here that day to take the test that day." I was like,
Did she say, I'm going on a college
Yes, she
tour
did.
at Howard, bitch?
Oh, the teacher's response was, "They'll reschedule." I was like this. So my daughter was so conscious of. She's like, she wants to get straight A's. So, you know, you're like, she could not get out of it. So that's why we had to cancel the first time we were getting the tour. And I think I gave the guy an excuse, but I didn't want to. Like I told my daughter, I said, I'm not going to make a big fuss about the professor until you're done with the class and you get the A. Right now, we just have, she's in control right now. And that's her thing, is being in control. And I was just like, this is kind of ridiculous. My daughter was taking a class at a community college while she was in high school, because she was like, I can get some college credits done while I'm in high school. And look, in hindsight, she's like, I wish I'd never would have taken that class. But I don't want to count against the GPA. And she's like a perfectionist.
Sounds like that professor was kind of hating too.
Oh,
like,
completely. It was ridiculous.
You're not going to tour Howard, where I wish I was teaching at right now.
Well, no, I'm sure it was a white professor. This is in California. This is in Northern California.
Oh, well then you're not going to tour that famous black college.
No.
On my
how
watch.
about she's just a bitch?
Well,
how about you're just a power control? And I hate to call women a bitch, but that was some bitch shit.
That was a bitch move.
Hold on, you got a student who is like, look, I really want to tour this college, and this is the day they're giving me the tour. She's not trying to get out of the exam at all.
Right.
My daughter's saying, can I take it early?
Right.
Can I take it online? Can I take it late? Whatever you need me to do, just this particular was a Wednesday, I have a tour scheduled at Howard.
Right.
We're flying across the country to take the tour.
Okay.
And then we couldn't get it done because that teacher wouldn't let her.
Yeah. That teacher actually made me look bad, so fuck her too.
My fault. That's fine. Sorry about that.
Sorry.
That's why we didn't get the first tour.
Right.
Now, as we were getting ready to do another tour, I was still talking to the guy. And shout out to Howard. They were gonna roll out the red carpet for her and us. She toured A&T, And I said, when we get done with A&T, we'll reschedule Howard. She toured A&T and said, I'm good. I want to go here.
I saw you posted on Instagram. You had this post, and you're like, you were there. And it
At A&T?
Yeah. And you had said something like, she loves it or something. And I was like, fuck these motherfuckers. Send her ass to A&T then. Shit, I tried.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was what it was.
I felt some kind of way when I saw that post.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
That's all right.
I literally, she was like, Dad. And here's the thing. We get the A&T, and she doesn't want me walking with her, first of all, because she's like, I don't want people to be like Gary Owen type deal. Mm-hmm. I'm walking like 200 feet in front of her, and then the first girl her and my wife stopped to speak to ask directions to some hall. Not 20 minutes later, they're still talking to the girl. Mm-hmm. Then the girl says, take down my number. I'm a freshman here, so if you decide to go here, just call me if you get here. I was like, that's the first girl she met. Mm-hmm. Was talking to her for 20 minutes, telling her, and it was just like the tour guide they gave us was great.
Were they from same area, or like?
No, this is a random girl we saw walking that her and my wife was like, do you know how to get to, the student center? Mm-hmm. And the girl just blah, 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 started breaking down all kinds of stuff about the university, and there's 20 minutes. And then, I mean, honestly, I don't have anything compared to, but that is how I thought a college visit should go. Mm-hmm. Everything they did. So my daughter's like, I'm good. She didn't just cancel Howard. She canceled all the other college visits she had.
Look,
she was like, I want to go here.
I'm a firm believer that no matter what, you go to Howard. No, I'm kidding. I'm a firm believer that you go where your heart tells you. It's like when you go buy that house. This is our house. You go look at other houses. This ain't the house, right? So, the biggest hump is getting your kids to college. I mean, that's a miracle in itself. The second miracle is getting them into Howard. But the third miracle,
not Harvard,
no,
Howard,
is just getting them somewhere that's good that they like. So,
it's still HBCU.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy for you.
Yeah, I spoke it into existence though. I said it on one of my specials like 7 years ago. I said there ain't a doubt my daughters go to HBCU. She is black woman. Hear me roar. Yeah, and you did, I think, give me the heads up like about A&T. I didn't just see that post. I mean, I did. That made it official, but I think we were texting. I said A&T or Howard. I said, I'm telling you, man, it's gonna be one or the other. Yeah, it's gonna be one or the other.
Yeah, and I was like, well, you better choose wisely, motherfucker. But I mean,
maybe grad school.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm always shocked at all the people that I've worked with that was at Howard when I was in the Navy
that are super successful.
Dude, here's the thing. I might have hit on Taraji at the McDonald's.
You probably did. You probably did. I mean, what's crazy is, the legacy of people that have gone, and I've just name dropped a few because they were there at the same time I was. But
speaking of this, did you ever meet Chadwick Boseman?
I did meet Chadwick. Now,
Howard alumni.
Exactly. Let's just show him some love. That was interesting because Chadwick and I have mutual friends. He's 2 years behind me. But like, I would hear stories about just things, from him in fine arts and just the acting abilities that he had and the love he had for the craft then. And this is before he became Black Panther. Mm-hmm. Like we were paying attention to Chadwick when he got 42 because we were like, oh, that cat went to Howard. And I'm like, yeah, I remember that cat. And then when he got Get On Up, we were like, yo, that's that kid from Howard telling you he was about to blow up. So when the Black Panther came, it was like, yo, come on, bro, this is Howard all day. Like, that we were really taking that personally into heart. So, yeah, it's crazy, man, because there are just so many talented people who have been through that school. And, for me, when I came out here, I got a job in a mailroom at a movie studio. It was called Savoy Pictures. They made like Tales from the Hood. They made Thin Line Between Love and Hate, Martin's movie. They made some other like really bad white movies like Dr. Jekyll and Mrs. Hyde. Not to put race into it, but I did.
I was in a couple of bad white movies.
Yeah.
Well, just one.
And so I'm at this movie studio, And I'm seeing this business of how they make movies by scripts. And I saw them, the script came in because my job in the mailroom was to photocopy all the scripts, put them together, make sure no pages were missing, and hand them out to execs. And this script came in one day from Bobby Brown, my prerogative, Bobby Brown. And I don't remember what it was called, but I took it home because if anything came through the mailroom for me, that meant read it. I photocopied it, took it home. Don't know what the script was about. It had like burn marks on page 10, like he had smoked a cigarette and put it out on the script. I don't know what shit was misspelled. I was like, so I called my buddy.
Shit was misspelled.
Yeah, it was crazy. And so the crazy part was Savoy bought the script for $100,000. They paid 100 G's for Bobby Brown's script. I called my boy from Howard, Ken Rance, who was working at CBS at the time. He was in the mailroom, basically. He was in this junior exec program. I said, bro, we got to write a script. Because they just paid Bobby Brown $100,000.
Oh, that's crazy.
And there's burn marks on this script. I mean, like, literally, he put a blunt out on or something. Anyway, so we wrote a script. He and I got together. We came up with some ideas. We wrote this script called Scary Dates, which was just like a collective of like, it was kind of like our version of Boomerang meets Tales from the Crypt, like these scary dates we'd went on when we were at Howard. And we got it to a manager. His name was Topper Carew.
Topper Carew,
yes.
yeah.
And Topper went to Howard.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's older, but like he was there like when Felicia Rashad and Debbie Allen were there. And Topper was Martin's manager and Robin Harris and a couple other people. And he read the script. We got together for lunch. He's like, I want to manage you guys. I think I can sell this to a studio. And he got us this brother, Walter Morgan, who was like the only black agent that in town at that time, who had like Beverly Johnson and some little person that was like his clients. And he sold our script to Fox, 20th Century Fox. So my whole point in that story is that it was, I got into the game because I went to Howard.
Wow.
Because my first writing partner went to Howard, my first manager was Topper, and that led on a whole career of me being able to sell scripts and eventually get some stuff made and be able to work with great people like RZA and John Singleton and all these guys that I've gotten to meet. They've all been like, damn, I wish I would have went to Howard. And I say, yeah, I said that to Gary Owen. I said,
I got a free breakfast at Cracker Barrel by a girl I went to high school with. I never got a manager career. Now, okay, I asked this
but
of
did you
all
give
my
her a
guests.
script that you wrote?
No. No. I got to write a script.
And you got
that
to
would
put some
help.
burn marks in that script.
Yeah, I'd be making shit up. I can't write a script. You just got to give me like the parameters of the show or movie and I'll just wing it.
You know what I did? I read so many scripts that it just kind of got embedded. Like, okay, I see certain things here that are similar. But the Bobby Brown thing was just like, come on, really?
Right.
100,000? Man, I'm about to do this. And sometimes you just need that inspiration, that ridiculous inspiration.
So I always ask all my guests, so you being a director, they say Dallas Jackson, here's the money, blah, blah, blah. One actor that you haven't worked with, if your dream actor to work with, who would it be? If they say
alive,
you pick alive. You pick the star. This is like tomorrow. Somebody calls and like, this is your movie. Who do you want to star in it?
Will Smith.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's funny. I asked I tell everybody what I want to happen out of this podcast is a couple years from now, people be like, you got to go on Gary's podcast. That shit comes to life. And I asked Will
Smith. No, sorry.
I asked, it's funny because I asked Kevin Hart and he said Will Smith and now they're doing Plane, Trains, and Automobiles together.
Oh.
Automobiles. I don't want to take the credit for it, but
yeah.
I'm just saying he was the first one to put out in the universe on my podcast. Joseph Sikora came on. He named off a couple of people, but he goes, I'd love to work with Deion Taylor again. They just did a movie last month together. I'm like this, dude. So I'm just saying.
I'm putting it out there. I'm also a huge Denzel fan, so I could work with Will Smith or Denzel. I'm letting the universe hear it.
Yeah. If you ask me, I would probably want to work with Will Smith because I'd probably be fucking nervous working with Denzel because I go, I better not fuck this line up.
Yeah.
Will would probably laugh it off. Your biggest fear would be Denzel looking at you going, huh.
Yeah.
Clearly you know somebody.
Well, you know what's
nepotism.
funny is Denzel would probably just like chop you in the throat like Training Day, like get the fuck out of here with that shit.
Better know your fucking lines.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? If you were doing a movie with Denzel, you would know your fucking lines.
Hold up.
You wouldn't be coming to like you did my set.
Know.
Like, let me learn my shit right now. You have your shit ready.
I'd be like, yo, the script said it was 5:03 a.m. The sun doesn't set at that time, so we got to get this right.
Yeah. You be over logical, like
there's no doubt.
Yeah,
I would have somebody in my hotel room running lines with me constantly. While I'm asleep, they would be reading me the lines. Like, just read the script as I sleep.
You know,
so it's so subliminal.
I think, like for me, Will is just such a big pop cultural icon.
He's such a nice guy.
He's a super nice guy. I met him at Tyrese's house, and we were. This is the funniest shit. Tyrese has a birthday party. It was a Frozen birthday party, so everybody's like dressed up, Frozen stuff. And we're leaving, and Will's there with his daughter,
Willow.
Willow's little. This is some years ago. I'm walking out with my two kids. He's in front of me. I said, and I'm a little nervous, but I was like, hey. I used to work with John Davis, and John Davis did iRobot with him. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, I worked with John Davis. He was like, oh, man, yeah. Yo, we did iRobot. That was a lot of fun. I was like, yeah, man. And I was like, I'm just a huge fan. He's like, oh, thank you, brother. So we go out, and I'm going to my Jeep Commander, which I still have now, and Will goes over with Willow and gets into this smart car, like the little two-seater.
I thought you were going to say a spaceship.
It looked like a spaceship, but it was when the smart car just came out, so it looked like a little clown car. Uh-huh. And I go, really? And he goes, hey, it's how the rich stay rich. Me and my wife fell out. It was like some straight up Will Smith shit.
Yeah.
And he gets in, puts Willow in, he gets in, does a U-turn on Tyrese Street and goes, and pulls off.
How the rich stay rich.
Yeah, it was great. It's funny. But like I was expecting him to come out and like bodyguard usher him to the car and then driver drives off. No, he got in the front seat.
Every interaction, probably run into Will 10 times in my life, Mm-hmm. But every time I'm with, two things: never got a picture with him. Never was a situation where I didn't want to ruin like fan shit.
Yeah.
But you want the pictures just almost for your own person who's like to look back at it. Mm-hmm. But first time I met him, he was shooting Wild Wild West, and we had a mutual friend that brought me to set one day, and he had a Bentley. I'd never seen a Bentley before. I didn't know what a Bentley was. This is like 98. I was like, what is this cool looking car with a B on it? I couldn't figure it out.
What is this Rolls Royce?
What is this car with a B?
Right.
And then after that,
is that a Rolls
I started seeing Bentleys.
Bentley?
That was the first Bentley I'd ever seen in my life. I was like, what is this car? A B on it. What's with the B? I didn't know. But
you gotta be a certain income level to even at that time know what a Bentley was. So obviously we weren't there yet.
I had no clue.
I'm still not there yet.
I had no clue. Well,
but I think he probably shedded all that because when I saw him, that's what I expected.
Well, 98, he's with 28 then? 29?
Yeah.
What else are you going to spend your money on?
Yeah.
And Jada was pregnant with Jaden.
At that time?
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
And they were like, we're balling out of control. He's still balling out of control.
Yeah, he's such a, I don't know. I agree with you. If you're going to ask me, people I'd want to work with would probably Will be at top of the list. Probably.
Well, I'd say he's such a big like pop cultural icon, but like to me, my favorite Will Smith movie is Pursuit of Happiness. Like, just where he goes in that movie, oh man, that still gets me.
And one of the best lines is like, "You better have a really nice pair of pants."
Exactly, like all the little heartfelt moments. Like he should have won every Oscar for that movie.
That was a good movie.
He was really good in that. Like, yeah, I like Men in Black, Will Smith, and all that, but like Pursuit of Happiness for me, I'm like, yo, that cat is really slept on.
How about every Will Smith movie breaks into a full sprint at some point?
He runs in every movie?
Single one. A full sprint at some point. He busts out every movie. I'm like this, dude. Every movie Will Smith busts out to a full-on sprint for some reason.
You should make a little montage
cut up
of that.
Of all the,
because I never
real.
Realized that.
Yeah.
But he does run in Pursuit of Happiness. He's trying.
No,
he just got out of jail. And he's trying to go get
every movie.
Get the interview.
Think about all the movies. He just busted into a sprint at some point.
Yeah,
Bad Boys, of course.
Of course. Beginning of Men in Black, when you first meet him, he's running full sprint.
7 pounds. He's running in the rain. Full sprint. I Am Legend. Full sprint. He busts out a full sprint in every movie.
You should do
montage
and
of
then-
Will Smith sprinting.
and then tag him, and he'll definitely respond.
Yeah.
I Am Legend is another one too, because he goes full Will Smith gamut in that movie. He goes dramatic Will, he's funny Will, he's heartfelt Will, he's that whole Will. He does all that shit.
There's only a handful of actors like Tom Hanks and Castaway that the whole movie is just them.
Yeah,
Just them.
Just
That
them.
means the call sheet is 1 Will Smith. The call sheet is 1
the dog
Tom Hanks.
is like 2.
That's it.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
You know what? You've made me realize 2 things. There was just him in that movie, except for like the flashback stuff. As I kind of get lost on that, and he runs full sprint in every movie.
Yeah. Watch the next one.
All right, he's still my top pick.
Yeah. I'm not mad at you. That's a great pick. All right, man. Well, I appreciate you coming on.
That's
full
it?
disclaimer, Dallas waited an hour to record this because
That's it.
things ran long.
You said I was going to get my hour made up.
No, I'm telling you,
and
it was
then
an
we would go
hour late.
extra more time.
Listen, I'm bringing it back and do another movie. That's the thing. I don't want to burn them out first time they see you. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
You know what?
Yeah.
Maybe next time you come, my daughter transferred.
Yeah.
Is she at Howard? Georgetown. Same city,
Yeah,
though.
I'm like, what the
It's getting
f-
closer.
Bro, come on.
All right, man. I appreciate you coming on, Dallas.
Wait. Welcome to Sudden Death is out now
On Netflix.
on
out
Netflix, and it's for sale if you want to buy it. It's also on other digital platforms, and it's starring this very talented, semi-good-looking man and Michael Jai White.
Yes, sir.
Who is very good looking. I saw him earlier and was like, you got your hair did.
And he's 65 years old.
He's
and doesn't
65
look
years
like it.
old and will whoop your ass.
Yep.
So,
All right, man. Welcome to
thank you-
Sudden Death
thank you
on
for having
Netflix
me,
right
man.
now.
Had a good time.
Appreciate it.